Hey, what's up? Doug Cunnington here from Niche Site Project. I'm going to answer 3 questions in this live stream. If you happen to be watching it later, that's awesome. Please leave a comment and let me know that you checked it out. And like and subscribe, all that stuff. All right. So the 3 questions I'm going to get to are: how much money do you need to get started with an affiliate site? Probably an Amazon affiliate site. The second question I'm going to answer is: how much time do you need to put into the site and actually work on it? That is question number 2. Question 3 is deeper into the keyword golden ratio technique. And this is a common question that I get. It's kind of long, but it's basically, I went from a ton of results when I just searched for something. And now when I'm using the keyword golden ratio, I use an Allintitle, and then I only see like 1 or 2 results. What does that mean? I don't understand. So I'm going to talk about that. If you're hopping on live, I appreciate it. Give me a shout. I'm going to get into the content quick because I want to go to the gym in just a minute. So I'm going to get into the content fast. I'll give you a shout out if you say hello in the chat. And if you have any quick questions related to what I'm talking about today, I'll answer them because that's what I do around here. I answer questions. Before I get started in the actual, answering of the questions, I want to mention my course. 5-Figure Niche Site is open for enrollment for this week. So it's like mid-October 2018. If you follow the link in the description, you'll get to the sales page. You could read all about it. If you have any questions, you can chat with me like on that page and all that stuff. All right, so question number 1, how much money do you need to get started with your first Amazon affiliate site? Okay, so there's a few schools of thought here. Some people think they may need like thousands of dollars to get started. I'm going to describe the minimum amount to get started, like today, and then I'll give you sort of a range too, because some people do have a larger budget. So if you're looking for like the cheapest that you can get started, there's a few things that you're going to need to pay for. So hosting and probably like a plugin. All right, or maybe a theme. You don't have to have a plugin or a theme, but a lot of people do end up purchasing one. So off the bat, you have to get hosting, and hosting is probably going to cost you from, say, about $60 for a year, or up to about 100 to 150 bucks for a year. So there's kind of a range, but if you look at it on average, you're probably going to end up paying like about 100 bucks or so for a year of hosting. You can pay by the month, depending on what hosting company you go with, but that is going to be the bulk of what you're paying for at the beginning, hosting. And typically, WordPress is included with whatever hosting. There's like one click in installation. So it's really fast. You can like literally, before I finish doing this video, you could go to SiteGround, for example, sign up and have a WordPress like site running before I finish this video. So it's very fast, and it costs a few bucks a month. Most of the time, you're probably going to have to pay upfront for the full year. You don't have to get a premium theme. A lot of times I just recommend people use a theme you already have for WordPress, or just use like one of the free WordPress themes to get started. Those usually look pretty good. Next, you may want to pay for a little bit of content to be written, maybe just a handful. Now, I recommend you usually just launch your site with 10 posts, no more than that. It's valuable to get started quick and then start getting traction on those first 10 posts. You could be accepted into most affiliate programs, including the Amazon affiliate program, with just 10 posts or so. That said, you may want to have a few of those articles written by writers, and maybe you write a few of them. So all said and done, I'm going to get to the point. How much money do you need to start a site? I would say at a minimum about 100 bucks. And if you have a little bit more budget, say over 2 months or so, it may be about $200 to $250. So you could have some content written by professional writers or freelance writers to help, help you do the writing faster. All right, so about $100 to $250 is sort of the minimum to get started. If you have more, of a budget, that's great. I would recommend you hire like more writers, and you hire more people to just help you launch the site, right? So if you have a couple writers working for you, you're going to be able to get the writing done faster, and it'll just happen faster. Okay. Number two, how much time do you need to put into the site at the beginning? So everyone is limited in the amount of time they'll be able to work on a side project. It's just the reality. Everybody has 24 hours a day. You have families, you may have a full-time job, you may have two jobs, you may have a lot of stuff to do. I recommend, if you could put in like 1 hour, 5 to 7 days a week, you should have enough time to get rolling. You can sort of bundle up the time. Let's say you can only work on it 3 days a week. If you can get 5 to 7 hours per week, that's what I'm talking about. And typically, the more work you put in, the faster the growth is going to happen. The more you're going to learn in a shorter time period, and further, you'll be able to sort of like compound the growth. And what do I mean by that? So a lot of times in the first 6 months, growth is slow. In fact, it'll feel like nothing's happening, and it'll look like nothing's happening too. And you're going to be working hard. And when it comes down to it, after about 6 months, a lot of times growth can like accelerate. And the more work you put in the first 6 months or first 12 months, like the greater the acceleration once you sort of start growing. So after 6 months, if you're putting in 5 to 7 hours a week for 6 months, then you're going to have like some amount of growth. If you're putting in 20 hours per week for 6 months, you could assume that you're probably going to grow a lot more once you get past that 6-month sort of sandbox period, as we refer to it as. All right. So how much time do you need to put in? About 5 to 7 hours per week. And that's like sort of the nice balance. If you could put in more time, it's going to be better. If you can only put in 5 to 7 hours every 3 weeks or something like that, that's fine too. It's better to get started and do something, than to not do anything at all. So if you put in less time, growth is going to be a little bit slower. And probably as you see that it's working, you're going to be able to put in a little bit more time because you're going to be more motivated. You're going to see that there's traffic on your site. You're going to see that people are making a purchase every now and then. And then you're going to think, well, I'm going to put in 10 hours a week because this is working, and I believe that it's working, and I see that it's working now. Okay. So I see Jeremy is on, and Wrestling Empire is on as well. So thanks for hopping on here and saying hello. Wrestling Empire says you got approved by Amazon without a single post, and that's great. I don't think you've made any sales yet. So you're sort of in a probationary period. It's going deep in here. You're sort of on a probationary period. And once you make 3 orders within 180 days, then your site will be manually reviewed and someone will take a look at it. And that's really when you get approved, after you make the first 3 sales. All right. So here's the third question. It's kind of long-winded. I'm going to read it out. Someone sent this in the other day, and hopefully he'll leave a comment here. I'm going to read it as it is. So here I am spending an hour or so testing some niche keywords in Google, and you came across this oddity. Beforehand, this person watched my videos on the keyword golden ratio. So they looked for some keywords, and they see that it gets 10 searches per month with 8 million results. And they're thinking, wow, that's not very good. So they tried Allintitle with the same word combination, and they got 1 result coming back on mostly an empty page. So they've never seen that before. So is there something that they're missing? Would a site or a post with the exact combination of words rank almost immediately? How can the results drop to 8 million to just 1 using the Allintitle? Is that correct? What does it mean? So the Allintitle, if you're not familiar with it, is the advanced search string on Google. That is the root of the keyword golden ratio. If you don't know what the keyword golden ratio is, then you should, well, you know what? I didn't link to it, but if you just Google it, you'll find a bunch of stuff that I put out about the keyword golden ratio. So Allintitle literally searches on like the Google index, right? Like any URLs, any like pages which are indexed that have in the title all the words that you typed into that search string. So if this person searched for it, then, and they only got 1 result, that means, yeah, probably they'd be able to rank pretty quickly. Maybe not immediately. There's a lot of other factors, right? So if it's a low search volume, they say it's 10 searches per month. There's only one result listed for the Allintitle. That's a good number. That meets the keyword golden ratio formula and my guidelines. So I would say if you publish something and it's good, worthwhile content, probably a minimum of 1,000 words, and it actually answers the question, helps the visitor, the searcher, whatever they're looking for. If it's helpful, it provides information, then yeah, you're probably going to rank pretty quickly. And I would say that's a great keyword. The person, you're not missing anything. You're literally like searching for something extremely specific that most people would not search for. And that's why you see just one result there. All right, cool. That is the conclusion of what we're talking about today. Don't forget, if you're not subscribed to the channel, have a look at some of the other videos. If you like it, please subscribe. We're getting really close to 10,000 subscribers, and I think we just crossed over like 9,900. So that's cool, and thanks for the support from everyone. I see a couple questions in here. Okay. These are unrelated to the topic that I covered, but I'll answer them anyway. So Wrestling Empire, I'll mention again, says they got approved without publishing a single post. And then I mentioned that they're not actually approved. They have to have their site reviewed. And then they said, yeah, I know that. So if you're unfamiliar with the process, you can apply and you'll basically be accepted. Once you make 3 sales, 3 separate orders within 180 days, then your site will be reviewed and then you'll actually either be approved or rejected or whatever. So I can tell you right now that you want to make sure you're not breaking any rules. There's some other videos about that and that sort of thing. Okay, Josh, my buddy, says, what about guest posting? And Josh is on here all the time asking about guest posting and other outreach and stuff. Do I ignore the sites where you find a query like niche plus the guest post, or do I recommend trying them anyway? So Josh, I would never use that. And we talked about this the other day, in fact. So I would never search for that because that's like the worst. I don't know how to put it another way, Josh. Don't use that search. It's just a waste of time. Like it's a waste of time because it's going to be so saturated with other people like spamming the world with terrible pitches. So just don't do that, man. It's just a waste of time. So come up with a much better search string and use that. Whatever I said the other day, just find blogs that you can build a relationship with and do that. I don't know how to make it I don't know how to rephrase it in another way that I haven't already said before. So basically you want to search for blogs that you could comment on. So I'll just make one up. You know what? I'll give an example for you, Josh. So it's crystal clear and there's no way that you'll be able to misconstrue what I'm saying here. All right. I'm going to do my best. Let's say let's say you have a blog on, I'm going to try to make up something fun here. All right. Let's say you have a blog on home brewing beer. All right. Home brewing beer. I home brew beer and that's why I want to talk about it. All right. So let's figure out where can you possibly get a guest post to land. So I would search for how about like beer judging and leave a comment. That's what I would search for in my advanced string and see what comes up. See what's going to happen, Josh. You'll come up with some idea and you'll search for it and then you'll see like, oh, the results are like kind of weird and maybe they would never have your guest post. So maybe instead of like beer judging, maybe then I just put in like Belgian beer tasting and leave a comment. That is exactly what you're looking for because you want to be able to leave a comment, something slightly related to your topic, not anything talking about guest posting or any kind of write for me page or write for us page. If you go to those searches that everyone talks about, they are the searches that everyone uses, and you end up in a very competitive area, and that's why I don't recommend it. Okay. Celie says, you're making a site with no review content, just problem solving. Will it work out at the end? Well, I can't read the future, man, so I don't know, but I like that idea because it is sort of contrary to what a lot of people do. And I know that there are some sites that have 97% informational content and like 3% sort of affiliate or product oriented, and they get so much traffic through their other like informational topics that they make lots of money, they get lots of traffic. So my hunch is if everything else is good, then yeah, it'll probably work out in the end. But the real question, Salih, is when you say, will it work out in the end? You have to think about what your goal is. So is your goal to launch a site and publish content and get some experience? Is your goal to make, $50,000 a year with that site? Is your goal to just learn how to like run a site, get a lot of traffic? So you have to really be crystal clear about what your goal is, and then you can go from there. All right. Okay, Wrestling Empire is asking which, if it's better to use WordPress.com or WordPress.org. All right. We went over this the other day, Wrestling Empire. You should just pay for hosting. Like, stop trying to get a free host, and you're going to have to invest some money. All right. Like $100, like I said. So save up your money and then pay for hosting, and don't try and do it on the cheap. You're going to end up, let's say it works out, right? You're going to end up having to transition from whatever free option you use to a paid option, and it'll just be a waste of time. So just save up your money, pay for the hosting, and you'll thank me later. Oh, and I see Gaz419 is the person that asked the question. So thanks for asking the question, and hopefully it was clear for you. Eric says, thanks for doing the videos. You're welcome. Josh, hopefully that was helpful. All right, I think we're set. We got one more question from Wrestling Empire here, and then I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go to the gym, get a little workout in. You're writing articles that are 1,200 to 1,400 words long, and some that are longer. And when you feel that there's nothing more to talk about, you finish it there. So should you add some more content? Well, if you feel that there's nothing more to talk about, then no. I mean, if you put everything that you know to put in there, then you don't have to put any more. If you want to, you can now. All right, Mike says, hey, Doug, you wanted to thank me for the content and support. Your site's 6 months old, and you made $480 last month. You're already at $450 for this month, and thanks for answering your beginner questions. That's awesome. Hey, you can shoot me an email, Mike, and if you want, you could share some of the, more of your results and stuff. Really inspiring. Maybe we have you on the channel and stuff. Okay. So Wrestling Empire is still harping on WordPress.com. So you're wondering if you should use .com or .org. Yeah, I think we're beyond like my experience with whatever you're talking about. So I'm not sure. But I still stand by my paying for your own hosting. You have more control. You're not on someone else's platform, blah, 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 right? You get the point, I think. So if you can't afford it right now, then, do what you got to do. And, hopefully you'll be able to move over to your, what is it called? Like, not self-directed hosting, but self-hosting for WordPress, where you have your own WordPress installation and you're not on someone else's platform. All right, cool. Thanks everyone for hopping on. If you are interested in taking the course and, getting the framework, getting access to actually, ask me questions where I can be more thorough and not so combative. I feel like sometimes on these, really, I'm trying to, amp it up a little bit. So, all right, cool. We'll catch you later. Thanks, Josh, Mike, Wrestling Empire, the rest of the crew, Gareth, of course, Eric, and there was another cat on here named Salah. Cool. Thanks, everyone. And we'll catch you later. Thanks a lot.